So I usually like to start by talking about mindlessness, because people will understand immediately what mindlessness means, right? So let's get into it. This is my son. The good news is he's gotten cuter. But the reason I bring him into this is that the night my wife and I and he came home from the hospital, it was a Saturday night. She was taking a shower. I was sitting on the sofa in a very dark room, holding him in my arms, kind of contemplating the profundity of this moment, this relationship that was just about to begin, and how was it going to be, And for those of you who've experienced this moment, you know that everything in your life has changed, and you don't exactly know how, right? And it was, the kind of beautiful Hallmark card moment that you think it's going to be. And then, as if it had a life of its own, my right hand reached out for my phone to check the news. And I caught it. And it was one of the most horrifying moments of my life, because it was so horrifyingly easy to be distracted from the precious, from the beloved, from the essential, the important, by something that was completely inconsequential. It was a Saturday night. There was no news worth knowing about, right? And then I just sat there thinking, wow, was this going to set the frame for my relationship with the second most important person in my life? And so it was purely, of course, mindlessness. Right? Have you ever been distracted from the essential, the valuable, what is core to you, either at work or at home, by something that was inconsequential and irrelevant? Right? If you're like the people I work with, it's probably every day, multiple times a day. And so people get mindlessness, right? And how easy it is to kind of live in a certain kind of momentum of action without stopping to think, what is important to you? What do you want in this moment? Your most difficult client, who happens to be your biggest client, calls you on the phone, you see their name on caller ID. What happens to you inside that moment? Right? What happens to you inside? What happens in the next moment as you pick up the phone? Right? What do you want in that moment? So, in that point of view, mindfulness becomes really not some kind of fluffy thing from California, but rather, I think, something really essential that we all need to know a little bit more about. Because at the end of the day, your actions are producing a result. And if we believe Drucker suggests that leadership is defined by the result, right? Does the home get built? Does the patient get healed? Does the product get shipped? Right? And at the same time, he has this insight that you can't manage other people unless you manage yourself first. And I would argue you have to start with your own mind